Hello, epic viewers from around the multiverse. Prepare to indulge in experiencing sheer bliss, because today another brilliant captaining stellar unboxing video is about to be brought to fruition. What items will I be unboxing? What items will I be opening? Without further delay, without further procrastination, allow me to elicit the box. What items are encompassed inside this bulky, hefty, casual, nifty box? Let's find out. I'm going to demystify the answer to that inquiry right here, right now, so bear with me. It will only take me billions of picoseconds to extract the items from the box and subsequently flaunt them from the camera for you to feast your glorious eyes on. Here we go. The unboxing process is about to commence. The unboxing process is officially underway. What have I extracted from the box? None other than an envelope. What's encompassed within the box? Nothing. It's not devoid of its contents. It can be relegated to the trash. It can be consigned to the trash. Alrighty, unfortunately, the envelope obscures the action figure. However, that is about to be changed in a brief moment. I'm going to render the figurine transparent. I'm going to gleam some light on it, and I'm going to flaunt it in front of the camera for you to feast your glorious eyes on. But before I can do so, I need to dismantle the envelope. It's a pity that this envelope is getting decimated, but I have no choice. I have to eventually unbox what I buy, so this is just part of the process. The scissor helps me expedite the process. It's a boon. So figurine is imprisoned within the envelope. We need to liberate him. Alrighty. I received a letter, but I don't need to read that now. So, we have the 15-inch Roaring King Kong action figure. Now, this figurine is extraordinary. You may be flustered, you may be discombobulated as a result of questioning my underlining assumptions. However, I'm going to prove why this figurine is meritorious. Alrighty, so this figurine stands a staggering, extraordinary, remarkable, incredible 15 inches tall. He towers over nearly any Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure. He dwarfs nearly anyone, and he scales eminently well with nearly any action figure line. King Kong is supposed to be colossal. He's supposed to be massive. He's supposed to be burly. He's supposed to be a beast. He's not supposed to be meek, nor scrawny, nor petulant, nor dainty. So I'm gratified that he's 15 inches tall. He's over 2 feet tall. What else? He possesses finger joint articulation. That's quite a novelty right there. Most action figures lack that. Most action figures are devoid of even a modicum of finger joint articulation. So King Kong can wield a weapon. He can grip nearly anything. He's quite incredible. Unfortunately, the fingers are semi-clenched together, but they could be adjusted inwards and outwards at your discretion. The thumb can also be moved inwards and outwards. The articulation is finite, but it still exists nonetheless. What else? Even though his knees are not double jointed, nor his elbows, he still possesses articulation in his elbows. Unfortunately, he lacks articulation in his knee joints. He lacks knee joints, so he only has swivels in his legs. His legs can swivel, but even without the knee joints or double jointed knees, it's not too much of a big deal with this figurine. It just needs to be able to stand and maneuver his hands in nearly any position that you could conceive of. So to me, that's important. I mean, if adding in the knee joints would have compromised the integrity of the figurine, then it's not worth it. However, if this figurine can balance himself and stand without knee joints, then why add knee joints if it compromises the integrity of his legs? But the knee joints would have been a Walkman addition, but even though he doesn't have it, it's not too much of a big deal. You don't want to tamper with this figurine too much anyways. I mean, if you fiddle with him, if you compromise the integrity of the joints, and he will likely fall over and have the cascade effect where he triggers the action figure positioned in front of him to fall, which subsequently triggers your whole entire prodigious action figure collection to fall if they're all relegated to one shelf. I mean, it depends how the effect transpires, but if he fell over and he was in his utmost, broadest stance, then you can imagine the calamitous situation that would ensue. One figure falling down and trigger a domino effect. If the figurines are dispersed, then that could be averted, but the good news is he could be mounted, and he doesn't really wobble or anything. He could be positioned on a flat surface. When he's on a flat terrain, he is not apt to fall, so that's incredible right there. Most figurines wobble and they can't be placed into nearly any dynamic pose that you can conceive of. They just fall over and lose their balance and wind up flopping. So just give me one brief moment here. Yeah, so he doesn't really flop too much. Now, his voice commands don't work anymore. They've malfunctioned. He no longer roars, but he still has this lever in his back, so he does have his action feature, which is eminently entertaining to watch. Just quite engrossing and enthralling, in my opinion. He could smash his arms into his rubber face or into his chest, depending upon how his arms are oriented or positioned, so that's nice. So I can deduce off the get-go that he has at least 8 points of articulation. Not bad for a 15-inch figurine. He's allegedly 15 inches. I'm going to presume that that holds true, but if he's not, then he's closer to 1 foot tall. I made a blunder earlier when I said he's nearly 2 feet tall. I meant to say, well, if I said that, I think I did. I meant to say that he's slightly over 1 foot tall. Yeah, so he should be 15 inches, and if the seller was incorrect, then I presume that he's 11 inches at the absolute shortest. I do love his deco. I love his hues, I love his aesthetics, I love his sculpt, I love his design. His face is comprised of rubber, so they cut costs in that aspect. I'm not sure who churned them out. Maybe it was Mezco. Who knows? But he's practically unscathed. He's practically in mint and pristine condition. His body looks like it has aged a bit. It looks like he's withering away. I'm not sure if he's supposed to have white paint applications, but if he's not, I mean, it's not the end of the world. I could always repaint them over and do an aesthetic overhaul if I so choose to. But even if I don't, I mean, I really don't mind the paint applications and the hues and the shadings. I mean, I prefer the darker shadings, but the lighter colors are nice, or a contrast to the dark shadings. It's nice that he had an action figure. It's nice that he could slam his hands into his chest. It's nice that he can maneuver his arms and legs. They could be ascended and descended. His legs can swivel. His arms can rotate 360 degrees. I don't want to really do that now. I don't want to decimate these joints. He would have had more latitude for articulation if his legs were attached to a ball joint. His pelvis is intact. The torso has some holes in it. They're not very conspicuous. They're not big gaping holes. They're relatively small. They were carved in his body so that his sounds could be heard. He's meant to roar. Hence action feature. So it's a cool figurine. He can fist pump. He emulates King Kong's appearance in the 21st century reiteration of King Kong. What else? I apologize that I'm fatigued, but I love this iteration of King Kong. I think he's menacing. I think he's intimidating. I think he's menacing. I think he's intimidating. I think he's audacious. I think he's stoic. I think he's mighty. I think he's just incredible. So I really can't complain for implementing the decision to purchase him. I recollect conceding to an $18 price tag. I paid a flat rate of $18 via eBay, and I was able to attain some cashback points with my MasterCard. Allows me to gain a 2% cash rebate post-purchasing any item with a credit card, and then I was also able to procure part of my money back in the form of eBay bucks. So I received a 2% cash back in the form of eBay bucks. So when that's coupled with the 2% cash back from my credit card account, I get 4% cash back in total after everything's paid for in full. Credit card bills to be paid for in full, and then the eBay transactions have to be paid for in full, but not bad. So it allows me to recover 4% of 18, which is what is that? I'm trying to do the math. Let me just do it real briefly in my head. I think it's 72%. Is it? I don't even know. I don't have a calculator on me. But yeah, I'm sorry about being fatigued. I just love his details. I love the scarrings. I love the black shadings. I love his towering height. I love his intimidating, agitated, irritated, infuriated appearance. I love that he's hefty. I love the fact that he's sturdy. I love the fact that he can balance himself. I love the fact that he has a roaring feature. Unfortunately, the roaring feature is no longer accessible, but I take solace in knowing that it existed in the past, and that offer more intrinsic value, but even without it, I mean, it's fine. So, decent figurine. He doesn't have any major scuffs, nor dings, nor dents, nor scratches, and if the white paint represents color fading, then it's not the end of the world. I just hope that those aren't scuffs, but if they are, then I'll just cope with it. I can't afford to spend 150 buying this figurine new. I used to possess them new, but I no longer do. But now I possess them used, so it's not the end of the world. I'll just cope with what I have. I'm gratified, I'm buoyant, I'm jubilant, and I'm content with my purchase and decision. So for $18, I really can't complain, and I'm surprised that I was able to obtain him for this price, and I attained a 4% cashback rebate, so I recovered some of my net loss, so that helps me defray the costs, and that could be applied towards future purchases. That could be earmarked towards purchasing other figurines that are part of the King Kong action figure line. So that's everything I want to do. Notify you. That's everything I want to do. Notify you of. I hope that you found this video to be intriguing and enthralling. Have a wonderful, marvelous day. Goodbye.